Okay, page 73. I want to explain the reason why at Cognitive Therapy Online we have tried to avoid going into too many details about symptoms, right? There's a very, very good reason for this because it's the amount of importance that you attach to a symptom that actually increases the symptom. So it is important to explain that these symptoms are actually harmless. You need to know that first of all. But it's equally important then afterwards to drop focusing on it. Okay? So I read posts on anxiety forums and everyone is going into so many details about the symptoms. They know all the terminology and all the Latin names, everything, all the medication. And they're trying to help, it's understandable. But the focus is on the symptom and the technical medical terminology, not on letting go of the focus on the symptom, which is actually the only problem. The problem, we think there's something wrong with this, so we look it up on the internet, we go into technical details, but we've actually made a mistake because that's not what's actually wrong with us. So this is understandable. I remember too, I wanted a name for what I was feeling. It seemed like then that would be easier, and I thought that would make me feel better. The truth is we're caught in cycles of fear. We don't have anything. We think we have something, and that's the problem. It's the thought increases our anxiety, which increases the symptom, right? So the important part about learning about symptoms is to step back from them, moving on, letting it be, allowing it to exist as bad as it wants to exist. Because with panic disorder, symptom is merely exaggerated bodily sensations that aren't actually harmful. So look at it another way. People who have overcome panic disorder through exposure and acceptance strategies, they actually, after that, once they're past that, they don't care at all about the details of physical or mental sensations because they're no longer adding misinterpretation and catastrophization. So they don't need to know anymore. It's anxiety that makes you want to know more, right? It's a sort of form of reassurance seeking. And we imagine if we find out more technical details about these symptoms, that'll help us to get rid of them. And it's a very normal human thing to do. You're taught from childhood, if you want to fix something, find out all about it. But with panic disorder, this actually works against us because the more you find out all about it, find out all the details, you give it so much importance, you're falling into the same trap. Okay? Now, you maybe not believe this, but you would rapidly accelerate your recovery if you never again bothered about the intricate details of any symptom, apart from understanding that it's a symptom of fight or flight, and instead concentrate on getting used to feeling those sensations. All right, so that you can see that they are simply harmless. Oh yes, they are alarming, but they're harmless sensations. And it takes a bit of courage, first of all, to stop trying to figure it all out. It doesn't feel natural just to not think about it. You think, I need to find answers. Of course I do. But you think if you do that, something bad might happen. You think if I stop thinking about the symptom, then it'll just creep up me and take over. But it won't. All right? We all think that. Just think of the many times that you've really believed that you were seriously ill, that symptom in your arm, in your shoulder, in your knee, in your foot, in your head. Think of how many times you thought that meant you were seriously ill, and yet here you are. You're listening to these videos. Nothing happened, and yet every time it comes up, you convince yourself all over again. All right. But remember, so if you go online and you start checking symptoms again and again and again, you just give them more and more importance. You focus your attention on them and you keep the whole thing going around in circles. Again, you're not in any danger because it is just harmless fight or flight sensations, but you're prolonging the length of time that you're going to experience this problem. A summary of step 2, rapid recovery skills. Remember, these skills are designed to help you experience and face panic so that you can put all your new understanding into practice. These skills are not so that you can avoid feeling any panic. It's very important. If you use all these skills to just try to get rid of panic, you're still telling yourself, I have to get rid of this is something seriously wrong with me, and you're just getting caught up in exactly the same trap. So change the way you think. It's the first skill to learn. Correcting catastrophic thinking and misinterpretation significantly reduces the fear of panic. It has to. If you repeat the truth to yourself enough, that is going to change how you feel about the sensations. When you're no longer afraid of panic, it will stop happening. That's the key. Remember, catch it, challenge it, change it, then test it. So catch that you do the misinterpretation, that you do all these behaviours that get you caught up, question them, change them, and then finally, in the next book, you're going to learn, put it all to the test. You learned you can identify your distorted thoughts using panic sequence profile and with a panic attack diary. Very, very useful. Make sure you fill these in. I know a lot of people go through these programs and they read this, but they don't then bother doing it. And so do it, actually do it. Print the sheets out, go through them, do them. Change your behavioural reactions, very important. So you've learned all about that. Reduced safety behaviour, test your thoughts, and then you'll be able to sail through panic. Face and accept the feelings. Okay, so let the panic happen. Acceptance speeds recovery. Okay, you learn mindfulness techniques, so you learn to observe rather than react to the panic, and you observe without judging it as good or bad. All right. And you're mindful of the entirety of your experience, not just the sensations and not just your environment, but everything. So you accept that you've got sensations, but you accept that there's a bigger picture as well. You learned about normalizing statements and flashcards. Very, very useful. Get used to remembering all the techniques by using normalizing statements and writing it all down. Keep a flashcard with you. Then you learn how practice develops. It takes time. It's like learning any skill. First of all, you're going to get confused. You're going to have difficulty. But as time goes on, you'll get better and better at it. And eventually, you'll just be able to do it instantly. And finally, remember, no matter what, even if you don't practice anything in this book, these are still just benign, harmless fight or flight sensations and symptoms. You're ultimately in no actual danger. So I hope you go through now to workbook number 3. Don't leave it here. Okay? Just go through to the next workbook. Put it all into practice.